How do men make the food more attractive and delicious for their men? As we all know that women are expert cooks, the women usually give cooking tips. But today in this video, why are we focusing on this aspect is because women have to now turn their attention from tasty food to nutritious food, from delicious food to effective food which can take care of the overall body. First of all, why is food important? Food is important because only what we eat makes our body constitution, and what we eat, based on that only the bodily functions act, and even if we give medicines etc., they work based on the food we eat. The next thing is, why is food very important today is because of lot of factors like the use of pesticides, insecticides, pollution etc., the new coming up of hybrid varieties of foods and vegetables, because of which, and the artificial processing, because of which even the healthiest food now becomes a question mark. So when we cook our food, when we eat food, we have to follow certain principles, and a woman is the best person to decide this and provide this to the husband. The next thing is, what is more important for the man is he has to carry the food which is nutritive as well as delicious and hot. All these three things may not happen at the same time, but the woman can try to match most of these things. Today we see most men travel a long distance or travel for long distances for in their two-wheelers or cars for their work purpose. So in the end, they end up eating at restaurants or hotels where most of the focus is not on healthy food but on tasty food. What is the essential difference between a tasty food and a nutritious food? Sometimes we say that nutritious food is not tasty and tasty food is usually not nutritious. The reason being, to bring out the taste in the food, the cook usually adds a lot of salt and oil, and if you take juices etc., a lot of sugar. This is all harmful. Similarly, when the same thing comes in the restaurant, the ingredients are different. There may be used products, there may be processed food etc., and we also are not very sure as to what is the quality of the vegetables or the whatever cereals pulses are used. The other concept which men have to understand also is, always focus on home-based cooking and home-based food rather than having a craving for outside food. The reason what men quote is, this food is not tasty, this food is monotonous, how do I eat this every day? This is what the men complain or think about. So the woman also says that I am also going for a job, I also know only to cook these many items, and why should you concentrate or focus so much on food? But today we are seeing men coming with obesity, men coming with earlier incidents of erectile dysfunction, infertility etc., and also men coming with other health related problems because of diet. Anything more than the requirement is also sometimes called as malnutrition, where we see obesity, and anything lesser than the normal intake is actually the other end of the spectrum. So as we stand, as we are dealing with men's health, men's fertility, men's erections, men's problems, the most important thing what we have to remember in our minds is, delicious food comes second and nutritious food comes first. The next thing is, how does one make the food nutritious and how does one make food interesting? So to make food interesting, we usually recommend adding colored fruits, colored vegetables, different fruits and vegetables every day, different preparations of the same items, and also modifying the types of carbohydrates which you take. So this is in the essence. So how do we go about this? So every day while you cook, you can maintain a certain proportion. The main idea is to reduce carbohydrates. Carbohydrate means rice, wheat and maida. So whatever the standard thinking is, wheat is less problematic than rice, while everybody now knows that wheat and rice are almost equal. The reason being, both are carbohydrates, both have the same calories. The only reason is, when we see North versus South India, the staple food in the South India is rice, where wheat they don't have that much amount of interest towards sweet, and vice versa in the north. That's the major difference. Otherwise, the calorific value, the glycemic index, etc., is same for both the food items. So it is not that I reduce my rice and take more of wheat, the end result is the same. So whenever somebody is working towards weight reduction, whenever somebody is working towards improving the nutritional status, reducing the fat and improving the lean body mass, etc., the idea what we have to have is we have to increase the proportion of protein in the diet and reduce the proportion of carbohydrates in the diet. And fat should be kept at a good minimum of around 10 to 15%, and good fat to be added in the diet. The next thing is, how does someone pack the lunch to the husband? So when we have multiple carriers or multiple boxes, what we can do is we can add carbohydrates to one box, and the other two boxes can be replaced, not with the rice can be replaced with a colored food item, a dal or any pulse, and also we can add fruits. So while doing these things, what happens is the portions are also met, the calorific value reduces, and we get lot of antioxidants and vitamins and minerals instead of the plain carbohydrate. We all know that obesity is alarmingly increasing in India, and India is a diabetic capital and obesity capital. What is the reason for this is because of our food items. Our food habits have been always up to 60 to 70% of carbohydrates and 20 to 30% of proteins, or even 20% fat and 10% proteins. The other myth is animal protein is good and vegetable protein is not good. The point here is vegetable protein contains lot of protein, while animal protein contains other items like fat, etc. The animal protein is processed, we require to add more salt, etc. Therefore, in the end, what happens is this food item becomes more calorie dense. The oil in the food actually increases the calorific value, etc. So because of this, the main idea what we have to understand is to reduce the portions, to increase the vegetable and the protein base in the meal, and also to add more of fruits. The next question comes, if I don't take enough of carbohydrates, won't I feel hungry? Won't my husband be tired when he comes back to the home? For this fact, we have to again understand that carbohydrate gets digested quickly, while proteins take time. They stay in the system and they get absorbed at a later point of time. The more the amount of vegetable-based protein or even animal-based protein in the diet is available, the more you feel your tummy full and you don't get hunger. The second point also to notice, when you take lot of carbohydrate and less water, even sometimes a starvation of dehydration can actually mimic hunger. So what we tend to do is we take regular meals. Even if we don't have hunger, we take meals. All these factors have contributed over the long run for obesity. So when we plan our meal, when we plan the week, we should have a variety in the meal. We should plan for each day what could be the best combination, and each item how can it be made to appear better, appear palatable. End of the day, food is the most important thing for which we all do these things. And because of this, we have to understand how best we can cook our food, eat our food, and maintain the nutritional value. So women have to focus on these things. Also, they can do these things in their own food, because women also have to have nutritious food. They have to take care of their health. Additionally, milk products, sugar, salt, all these things also have to be matched in the meal. The other thing is, when do you go for let us say a cheating meal? So when you are on diet plans, when you are taking such a regulated food and you are proceeding for a say restaurant or a party, etc., try to maintain your portions. Don't overeat. Overeating one day is also okay, but still you try to maintain the same proportion. You may eat some additional ice cream, juices, etc., where you try to cut down the carbohydrates like rice, biryani, etc. These things again maintain a balance. It doesn't give you lot of say hunger or lot of craving for food, because Once you skip the schedule on 1 day or 2 days, then it again becomes difficult to come back. So lot of these things are to be followed, lot of these things to be inculcated in daily routine, and by this you can achieve a balance between taste and nutrition. And this balance should slowly tilt from taste towards nutrition. From whatever you expect, whatever you want, from that you have to shift towards what is good, what your partner gives is always the best for you. It's a well cooked, delicious and a tasty meal for you from your partner. Just feel the love when you eat it, and the partner is there to take care of you. So women, so follow these little tips so that the food becomes more nutritious and your husband also starts taking the healthy path.